Man, what the fuck is good, everybody, man? Blessing to everybody who comes across this message from this economy, man. How's everybody doing, man? You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day out here to be alive and shit, you know what I'm saying? Well, man, today, my topic of concern right now is energy, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely think that it's very underappreciated, and it's looked at very generally, but it's very specific at the same time, we have a potential within ourselves to activate certain energy channels, i.e., the chakras, the meridians, the central access points, and all of these different energy channels that we have in different cultures. So now we understand that there's a face behind the mask. Whatever culture you put it under, they all understand that there's a network of energy and different points and access points within us that we can activate through different types of methods, through meditation. That's one way. Through pranayama, which is another. Tai chi, qigong, yoga. Not just the practice of stretching, but actually understanding where the energy blockages are and doing the perfect asanas or in the mudras in order to have a certain outcome and consciously. You know what I'm saying? And I think yoga itself is taken very lightly in this day and age. And it's a beautiful thing to have people coming together and wanting to seek health benefits from this beautiful practice. But in itself, there's four branches of yoga, and it's not just hatha. Hatha is the physical practice. You know what I'm saying? And that's only one way to get certain energy blockages stretched out. You know what I'm saying? So there it goes back to the energy network and coming back to actually open up different channels, doing tai chi, qigong, etc. is the same result, but it's just a different mask, a different method. And at the end of the day, all path forms lead to the divine, and we all understand, light and dark. You know what I'm saying? And what it means to give yourself to the dark energies or the to energies of the divine. And we all understand, like, in the basis of our soul, in the network of our soul, what it means to truly be, righteous. You know what I'm saying? And if not, we're discovering along the way, learning from mistakes, man. And at the end of the day, we all understand. You know what I'm saying? And so, so now, when it comes to energy, it's like, how far do you want to go? You know what I'm saying? How much do you want to open yourself up to energy? We talk about ritual. We talk about, like, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, the ancients knew doing rituals, whether it was praying, whether it was before you go out, you say a prayer for something, or in order to have something happen within the world, i.e., magic, through these methods of a ritual, whatever you want to call it, habit, whatever, every time we do something, we're reinforcing the steel. When a blacksmith crafts the blade for the samurai warrior, he reinforces the steel many, many times. And when it comes to ritualistic practice and the manifestation of energy and the output of energy in order to make things happen, which we have in the New Age movement today, we all talk about, the law of attraction, what we think is our reality, etc. And so when it comes to actually doing something in the physical realm to make something happen energetically, Einstein said E equals mc squared. So energy equals matter times light squared. You know what I'm saying? So Samael Amuyor revealed to us that we have 7 bodies, 6 upon this physical, that we must take into consideration and raise the energy of the Kundalini through these 7 bodies in order for us to become truly divine and Christic, just like the great ones did back in the day. And so when we look at energy, we have to consider matter as being energy in itself too, but also there's light behind it. You know what I'm saying? So energy is always going to be matter times light squared. If we take that and look at everything, we look at the glands within the body. They all correspond to different chakra points, meridians, etc. And with that being said, it's like, these places in the physical body release endorphins and chemicals that make us function properly. But at the same time, that is looking at it at a scientific and a material level. So now it's like, what is the dimensions of life squared beyond that? And the ancients in the Eastern world, even magic traditions in the Western world, they even consider energy to be something that is within us and without. As above, so below is the basis of everything. And whatever is out there in the cosmos is within us. Every mineral, every type of chemical plant. What I'm saying, or energy that we have out there. We take things to activate those chemicals in a conscious manner, to release them and give ourselves to this spiritual energy, this spirit. You know, uh, and Carlos Castaneda called these allies that we can give ourselves to. You know what I'm saying? And but that's another topic. But anyway, so all the ancient cultures considered us to have, obviously, a material plane of existence and everything beyond that. So they addressed everything with holistic medicine, which corresponds to the plants of nature and the elementals within the plant bodies of nature. So now we're looking at the energetic aspect beyond these things. And there's metaphysical components to all of these. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, if somebody just takes, a certain amount of this plant and resonates with this energy, it will unlock certain energy channels within us to open us up to the healing. But on a physical spectrum, it gives us the certain nutrients necessary and antibiotics, antibody, everything to fight the virus, etc., inside of us. So now we're looking at it on an energetic spectrum fully. You know what I'm saying? And so energy, what do you want to do with it? How do you want to go within the world? Intention and expectation. Understanding how to integrate different methods of energy transmutation and actually put it into your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between theoretical expansion and experiential expansion. You can consciously study anything. You can watch somebody do methods of anything. You can hear about it. You can judge things based on what somebody else says. But it's how long are you going to believe what everybody else says? So I ask you, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to these people talking about doing this stuff, connecting with the source, Kundalini energy, raising it through the seven chakras, the seven bodies, looking at auras, like connecting with the plant life around us, being one with nature, being able to go inside and cleanse the chakra system, being able to visualize a certain body part and make it function properly when you feel something's wrong. All of these are possible, but we must understand the mechanics of the machine. The most complex machine on the planet, which is the human body. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people look at this human body and they only take it for a surface glance. And there's so much more to it, so much more beyond it. There's two dimensions of light squared. That's a lot. And beyond this physical, we have 6+ bodies that we must take into consideration. And in order to resonate with that, we have to consciously live our life. And in many different cultures, and summarized within Samael's work, Samael Amour, bless his spirit. I know he's guiding us from the afterlife right now and the beyond. But with that being said, Samael addressed and summarized many different esoteric schools in a syncretic manner. And he addressed the 7 different bodies of light and also the different things that we must overcome within us to activate these bodies of light. And so we all come back to a real energy, which is a huge topic right now on the internet and coming to the surface. Real energy, which is also Kundalini energy, which is also Orgon energy, which is also Chi, which is also Reiki. So now we have different masks on the same face. What is it? The base of energy. All life, all existence, prana flows within all, organ flows within all, vril flows within all. And it can manifest in one of two ways. We have the sacred flower of life, the pattern and basis of all creation. And then we also have a luciferic flower of life as well. So that means that it comes down to free will and free will and how you want to manifest the energy within you. So everything that we do is a choice and an expansion within this energetic realm of what we choose to align with. And that's really how energy works. And if you want to align yourself and attune yourself to energy in different ways, there are various methods to implement to do these things, to activate different chakra points. We have mantras. We speak mantras from the voice. You know, in Kabbalism, it said that the God spoke the universe into creation. Every angel's name, Raphael, Samael. Every angel's name means something, and El means of God. So when God or the source or whatever you want to call it spoke these things into existence, he said Raphael, and that was a manifestation of energy that guided that energetic realm. And everything that we tap into is a spirit, a body that we like to attune ourselves with. So if it's Raphael, he's going to be healing us, and we attune ourselves to that energy. And if one has a vision of Raphael or Lord Shiva, etc., it is what we can tangibly associate ourselves with on a realm that we can perceive. Because energy is formless, it is expansive. And I feel like right now in this place and time, in the age of Aquarius, it is time to take up our power as creators, as being built in the image of Creator, and use our voice through mantra, affirmation, different types of, that's pure creation. We're speaking it into existence. That's what that means. We have all these great entrepreneurs talking about this nowadays. The law of attraction, the whole movement in the new age talking about, creating your reality, and that comes to using our voice as a creator. And so then we have mudras, and asanas, you know what I'm saying? And these are yogic, terms, but at the same time, they're different tools to expand consciousness. So like doing an asana, using a mudra, a certain hand sign, actually aligns certain neural pathways within the mind that activate different energetic centers. So when you sit down in a certain mudra or in a certain asana, or you're doing yoga or tai chi or whatever way you're forming your body, all of these different energetic points are aligning with your neural pathways in a way that it's expanding your energy consciously. People have certain experiences unconsciously, and just like, for example, in the world of shamanism, all different types of uh, all different types of plant matter is to be learned from Mother Earth. They're different elementals. They hold different types of energy, and so they're considered allies, like as Carlos Castaneda put it in his teachings with the Yaqui Indian Don Juan. And with that being said, it's like you can align yourself with an ally, a spiritual energy that is out there. So if you unconsciously align yourself with these energies, and you, for example, are going through, and you're more pure of heart, and your intention was maybe to chill with your homies, you know what I'm saying, and trip, have a good time, for you're taking psilocybin, right? And you're having a good time, and that's a beautiful thing. You laugh, giggle, like everything's beautiful, you're seeing shapes, geometric shapes in the ceiling, the stars, nature's breathing, all these different types of things. But at the same time, think about it on an energetic level. So now you have multiple people around you, all with the same intention, ritualistically sitting together, eating these mushrooms together, different energetic aspects of folding the steel. So every time you fold the steel and do a different movement or motion in a ritual, everything is reinforcing that steel. So when you go and chop the head one time, it comes off. You cut through. You know what I'm saying? So what you do in a group setting by yourself, how you feel about something, everything that you do consciously, even though it might be unconscious, is a different expansion of energy. So you get a different outcome at the end of the day. And so the same thing happens for somebody who might be skeptical of taking that mushroom or that acid or smoking that weed or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? You're aligning yourself with an energy, or even meditation. or even something simple as yoga or talking to somebody. You know, every energetic reinforcement of that steel is going to cut through in a certain way, in whichever way that you go through it. So you have somebody that learned a beautiful spiritual experience. They may not have as many demons within their mind roaming around. You know, when I say that, I mean unfaced dark energies within themselves that they are not come to terms with. So now that energy, that spirit is going to show them what they need to overcome. And now whether somebody's eyes and perception is open or not to see that is what is up to the person through free will. You know, and they might demonize psilocybin at this point or whatever they may have took or conversation or certain types of movies, whatever you do with an intention and energy behind it is going to create an outcome. You know, and that's what it comes down to. Energy is everything. And so if you sit down consciously to expand your energy and consciousness and align yourself through all the different tools that we have available, which is the one right here, the physical realm. You know, so how we take care of ourselves, how we think about ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we look at the world, how we intake things. You know, everything is a ritual, so you're reinforcing the steel every time. So think about that when you do something and how you do it. You know, what is your intention? What do you want to come out of it? How is your consciousness even perceiving how it can come out? You know, and so the ancients laid out beautiful ways for us to do this through mudras, hand signs, aligning different neural pathways. Like when we connect this hand sign right here, you know what I'm saying? None of that, you know what I'm saying? None of that, higher up bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But the ancient stuff, regardless of the secret society stigma around this. Right here, you're connecting to central nadis. A nadi is an energetic pathway, and you're connecting two central nadis. And so, just doing this right here, as opposed to this, will change your breathing pattern and open up your diaphragm or your lungs higher or lower. So this will go lower, and this are higher. You can try yourself. And with that being said, it's like that is profound. It's so simple to sit this way. It's so simple, and it's doing such a grand change within the body. And so, if you take that to an energetic spectrum, imagine what it's doing inside internally. You know, so now you're opening yourself up to these energies, and then it's coming back to, you know, you're basically preparing yourself for the divine energy of higher realms of consciousness by doing these things like pranayama, qigong, yoga, uh, etc. You know, Tai Chi, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you want to do, however you want to go about it, I really believe experience is the best teacher. And these past 2 years, I ended up quitting my job after my fiance had an incident where she had to get surgery and we didn't know what to do. So we were really faithful in energy, and we were blessed by the divine with a name for our new business called the Calpatry. You can check us out on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But what we focus on is crystal energy, and how to use it and align it with the elementals of the crystal and or the mineral kingdom. And they just want to ascend just like us, and in order to use them with the intention and the energetic vibrations, we decided to she does hemp jewelry and I do wire wrap. You know what I'm saying? And it's all natural from Mother Earth, and we use our intention and energetic frequencies to ritualistically manifest the right energetic balances within this to make somebody grow. You know what I'm saying? Whenever they put it on and really feel this energy and help somebody heal. And with that being said, I ended up quitting and faithfully, going into this, head on, and it really gave me a lot of time to study everything. And the Celestine prophecy changed my life when I was a lot younger, and made me look at things a lot differently and experience synchronicities, take chances, and view the world in a true energetic way on a base level. It was a primer, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, I still had a lot to learn and still do now, and so I started doing yoga every day, and still do to this day. And it's been about 2.5 years going on. In the past 6 months, I recently came across Gnosticism, and I fully submerged myself in trying to understand experience, not just going off of what people tell me or what another master has just said. It's beautiful to integrate things consciously, but to blindly have faith in a way that you neglect your own experience and you deprive yourself of achieving true enlightenment in the way that they have when they speak off of things that is completely expansive. Like, they're speaking from a place of experience only. You know what I'm saying? And in order to get to that degree, it takes true discipline and sacrifice, and to understand energetic expansion by using the tools that we have given us, or that they have given us in the ancient tradition, by consciously integrating them and then consciously using them and consciously observing how it changes and alters your reality. That is how you make these things happen. And I've had several experiences, you know, just by trying to energetically amplify using mushrooms. I lit sage, balanced it out with the masculine energy of an incense, and I put on high frequency music. I believe it was 432 hertz, and then I put on a meditate or a 33 chakra meditation that takes you into the higher realms and you have the divine. And the 33rd, I believe, was where Metatron stayed. And during this, everything that I was doing, up until that point to where I was about to eat the mushrooms, I ate 2 grams, and I decided to pray to the spirit of the mushroom, just like the ancients did, and it really holds Christic energy. And there's evidence all throughout different types of ancient scripture that we used to use plants in this manner. You know what I'm saying? And so I decided to do this after researching and seeing that, when I just seeing everything for what it was, man. I just wanted to experience. And what happened was after I prayed and sat down, it was the most conscious trip I've ever had. I never felt like I was lost. I never felt like I couldn't hold on to my conscious mind. You know what I'm saying? And it was just something different about it. And so while I'm laying there doing this meditation, I got sucked into a complete darkness, and I see Kali, Mother Goddess Kali's head, sitting up this way with her tongue sticking out perfectly, And I had not known anything about her, and I thought she was equal at this point. You know what I'm saying? Only by seeing Beyonce's dance at that time and shit. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was, is I'm looking at her. She's the goddess of destruction. What I understand now is destruction leads to rebirth. And I was going through a very difficult time, uh, just trying to give myself all to somebody and not getting it reciprocated at all. And to sacrifice yourself in that manner, it's very draining. And I was destroying myself in the process. And I saw her, in this dream, or in this vision. You know what I'm saying? And I'm conscious of it the whole time, but trying to let it be in a place of receptivity. So as I'm tripping, I see a perfectly like green lotus, bright, vivid, with a third eye. Not as we traditionally see it to the side, but in the Hindu fashion. It's more of like large. It's like elongated, vertical. And I was blown away just like observing this, and there was a luminous light from the background, and like just glowing. And I kept asking, who is this? What is the name? What is the name? And it said Kali, and immediately flashed to a figure of Lord Shiva in his stance. He had one leg over his knee, balancing on it in the guru posture and asana, and he had just 6 arms spread out, his snake around his neck, and he was floating above a luminous land. And there was just light shining behind him, but at the same time, a vast darkness. Like there was light within the darkness, what he represents, destruction, rebirth. You know, um, we have Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, and Shiva, the destroyer. But Shiva is the destroyer that leads to, again, creation. And And so I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. This was the first time I ever tried to be conscious during a psychedelic trip, and now it's amplified into I had an experience just during meditation. Um, I prayed beforehand, lit an incense, and I put on a Durga mantra, and I also decided to chant it this time. And while I'm chanting it in deep meditation, I ended up I kind of lost myself, and I saw the mother goddess Durga reach out, and it was only like it was like she was sashed off, like kind of cut off like this, and reaching out from it like a rip in time, and like reached out to me, and like touched my chin one time, and then I felt the Kundalini serpent rise within me, and it was coiled up, it just spread up, man, and just shot out kind of like an arc, but back into my temple and back down into the heart center. And so there, if you look at the Ankh, it's the same symbol. You know what I'm saying? The central axis point of all energy is the heart, and or in the human spectrum, it's a heart. And I was blown away, and I get up and I felt a rush of energy, and it was my first experience actually having uh, um, a conscious expansion of energy by doing yoga every day, by doing pranayama, preparing my central nervous system, opening up the Sushumna canal, getting the flow of the Ida and the Pingala, lunar and solar energy flowing up the spinal column to the temple. And finally, this happened to me, and I had a burst of energy. It was very late at night, you know what I'm saying, and I couldn't go to sleep. I was just bursting with energy, but I felt a shift in my whole spectrum of perception. Like I can feel people's intentions when they come up to me and try to talk to me. Um, and so like it created a huge shift in my energetic spectrum. So I would see a lot of falsity, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of things. And it created like it was like waves of energy. I'd be so high, like feeling like I'm saying information that I've never had come into my temple before. Like truly feeling like, wow, is this what they talked about when it really when it meant that you can learn from the divine, in a way that you don't have to pick up books, but in experiential fashion and opening up chakras and pulling in the energy that you can now tangibly understand on a conscious level. And they say it's embedded within ourselves, all cells, all of this information. We just have to activate it. And I was just blown away by the amounts of things that I was coming across, and in a short span of time, I felt an expansion of growth. And but at the same time, I felt like I needed to expand my energy centers in a new way, consciously. And so I kind of it felt like I was burning. You know what I'm saying? It felt like there was too much energy. And so by doing this more and more every day, I was more preparing myself for this energy to manifest within me. And Samael Aunweor says that we have 7 Kundalini energies to rise within us in the 7 bodies. And through pranayama, through sexual transmutation, through the different exercises of energy transmutation, whatever practice it may be, uh, it leads to this, and this is what Osiris was doing, Jesus Christ was doing. This is what Quetzalcoatl was doing, the Tiger Knights who followed Quetzalcoatl, the Essenes, all the different ancient practices, in Taoism, ancient Taoism, the alchemists, all throughout time, Buddha, Babaji, all the great, great, great masters of time that we look to today, that their energy has transcended what we call time today. And their energy is still felt and growing every day. This is what they were doing. They consciously experienced the divine for what it is, and they consciously expanded their energy by doing these methods. And I really believe it's tangible for the average person to do if you're ready to discipline and sacrifice. And I know a lot of people take that in a way that it's very detrimental to their lifestyle and what they hold dear, and to shatter reality. But it's like everything that we have been taught up to this point has only been to distract us and destroy our energy. Hitler, even back then, he understood real energy. If you look at the cross, the cross, right? So you have the lingam, the yoni, the ovaries, right? So you have the are already the first objects of creation coming together. And what does everything do? Molecules cross, you create. Atoms cross and create. Elements cross and create new ones. Different central energy axis points cross, open up, and create new ones within reality. How we can perceive things, etc. So that symbol in itself, look, it's literally the yin and the yoni. The penis and the vagina, the ovaries, coming into the process of creation again. And so if you look at the which echoes throughout everything, the symbol of the Nazis, which was taken from the Hindus and reversed. And what is it? It's a cross with extra arms extended. And if you spin the cross, it's energy and motion. So they understood on a base level with the real society, all the expeditions to the Antarctic, all that stuff, they knew about energy and what's beyond the toroidal flow, the different, realms beyond this one and the expansion of our energies. Like if you look at us, we have toroidal flow, so does the earth. If you look at the inner earth, towards the inner world, we have the aurora borealis, which is the remnants of the toroidal flow of the inner earth. So, we have the proof there, and they knew this stuff. And so they were trying to tap in and use this energy with their different types of technologies. And that's why they were running what was going on back then. And, he was channeling energy or channeling different messages from different beings with the real society. And and why though? What were they doing it for? They were trying to tap into real energy and use it. So they applied it to their technology of levitation, etc. And they knew these things, and Hitler was obsessed with this. And if you look at things from back then, how was the war funded? With the Rothschilds, man. So they're running everything. You know what I'm saying? And so they all know about energy on a base level, and that is real energy, prana, organ, chi, and they're using the methods against us. And if you look at Kabbalism, we have the tree of life, right? And in the top three of the crown, we have Kether, Chakma, and Binah, the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, and the Christ, and the Mother. And within that, there's a hidden realm. There's a hidden sphere of creation, and it's called Doth. And Doth, which is the intellect, knowledge, leads to the Klapoth, which is the dark tree of life. And why did Hitler reverse the symbol for the Nazis? Because maybe they were trying to align with the energies of the Klapothic centers and the spheres. And why? What are we doing? We're trying to align with the knowledge of tree, or the tree of life. The knowledge of good and evil. And we're trying to ascend through the tree from Malkuth, which is the earth kingdom, the base, us. The earth kingdom. If you look at the chakra center, the earth, the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra is the base. And we rise up through the crown chakra, which is Kepha. You know what I'm saying? The heavens. The sun. And in order to rise through these channels, we do different types of methods and understanding. But what have they been doing? They've been applying the dark methods to us of the Klapothic energy against the tree of life. And from the base and from our start, they've constructed everything for us to misuse our energy all the way up to this point in time. And this is what they understand. And the more that we resonate with this energy, the more ritualistically we give them more power. You know what I'm saying? And they reinforce the blade every day through media, how they give us the media, movies, etc. And then our perception of it and how we intake it and the energy we give back to it feeds to the Klapothic energy, the dark. And then we have the light, the positive, the divine, which is the tree of life, and by however you decide to align yourself with the energy of the Luciferase flower of life, which is the Klapothic energy of creation, you also have the tree of life energy, which is the pure. You can align yourself that way too, but that is just through intention, etc. You know what I'm saying? And you know, is that's really what it comes down to. You know, And they understood these things in the higher ups, and they're using it on us on a day-to-day basis. So I mean, what do you want to do with your energy? You know, like, do you want to expand? Do you want to experience life for what it is? Do you want to sacrifice the reality that they have given us, the perception that they have given us, to distract ourselves from our true purpose, our true expansion of our energetic fields? Or do you actually want to align with something new? Sacrifice this reality, this comfort that we have in what we've always known? Or do you want to open yourself up to a new realm of perception that we've never seen? And in order to do that, we have to discipline ourselves in a way that we don't base ourselves off the past, but this new moment, this new opportunity to grow and expand. And I think this is what it means for us to be human beings, to take control of our power as a creator, and that we are made in the image of the creator. To become gods, not in a satanic fashion, but to become God in the sense that we're taking our divine right to align with His energy, her energy. Whatever the beyond of the source, whatever the beyond and whatever the source is, whatever name you want to give it, whatever mask. Not in a sense to be above others, to only create things in a selfish manner. You know, um, I really think it means really being. I think that means being a human being, man, and understanding free will and energy on a base level, and it can manifest in any way through free will. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to do with it? And I'm gonna read something from The Sacred Journey of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. That book changed my life, man. It really made me understood like the sacrifice of giving yourself to others. When I read The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, and actually doing the disciplines, and even though it seems like it's against everything you know about your nature, but that's what it means to expand. So I'm gonna read something about energy. He says in here, he goes, every human capacity is amplified by energy. The mind becomes brighter, healing accelerates, strength magnifies, imagination intensifies, emotional power and charisma expand. So energy can be a blessing. But life energy must flow somewhere. Where internal obstructions lie, the energy burns. And if it builds up beyond what an individual body or mind can tolerate, it explodes. Anger grows into rage, sorrow turns to despair, concern becomes obsession, and physical aches become agony. So energy can also be a curse. Like a river, it can bring life, but untamed, it can unleash a raging flood of destruction. That's very profound. And I came across a video, the just yesterday, how there was a woman who had a question for Sadhguru about the expansion of internal energy and trying to integrate it within her newfound energy channels, the nadis, or the meridians. And what he said was, if you're blessed with energies of the divine, and your body is not prepared, your cells aren't prepared, you can burn away, just as this man said right here. And I think that's very profound, with the conscious activity of actually trying to open up your access to a new central foundation, a new cornerstone. How are we going to do this? We must break down the old in order to have the new. We must cleanse ourselves and take care of the five energetic aspects of the body. You know what I'm saying? And we must take care of the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the energetic. And in the branches of yoga, we have Kriya Yoga, the transformation of energy, Bhakti Yoga, the devotion to something beyond us. So at this point, it's not a selfish action, but you're doing it in order for the expansion of your light and for others to see yours as well. And then you have Karma Yoga, which is the action of doing these things. So without any of these, you have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, without action, without the devotion of something beyond and the transformation of energy, yeah, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to yoga class and just stretching. You know what I'm saying? Or are you going in, opening up your energy channels? Putting down an intention before you hit the mat. Like, what are you trying to do? That's action And if you're just doing it for physical means, you're not doing it through bhakti, the devotion of something beyond yourself. It's the energetic realm. And so those are three branches. What I talked about was kriya, bhakti, and karma. And so now we have the fourth branch, which is yana yogi, which is yoga, which is the understanding and integration of the knowledge and the different types of studying, looking at the terms, what I'm saying, of what's going on in the mechanics of the universe, studying from a teacher. So you can study and do all of these things and read as many books as you want, but if you don't consciously understand and then integrate them within your life, live by it, and then like really experientially love it and see what it does. That's how you learn. That is how you make things happen. You cannot just read these books, like just be a yani yogi and think that you're expanding on an energetic level in all different ways. You can't just be doing the physical practice and think you're expanding on all the different energetic ways. You can't just be transforming your energy but neglecting yourself of everything else and think that you're just expanding on all different spectrums. So it takes a balance of doing all of these things in a conscious manner, in a sacrificial, disciplinary manner, in order to gain the greatest feelings of the universe, the greatest parts of the universe, and see the universe for what it is. You know, um, that's what it means right now. And, I think this is vital information, to not only understand but integrate into life, because we have too many people being theorists, too many people just talking about things, but it's like, how does it affect you? Like, how have you seen the world? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you been through? And I think that's missing from the world today. And I think it's tangible for everybody in the average human being, not only as something like as an esoteric concept that's only attainable by people who do this, but I feel like it's definitely something that is tangible for the average human being who's willing to understand where they come from and who they are. And I think that's a beautiful thing in itself, man. And yeah, man. Well, that's really all I got today to say to y'all, man. And mad love. And to everybody's universal expansion, man. And I'm just a conduit of the divine, man. And you know, keep peeping the channel, subscribe one time. It's your boy Swami one time, and may the blessings of the divine fall upon you, man. Peace.